What up, guys? So I ended up making a video, and I was actually editing it. I streamed it on Twitch, trying to explain everything of what I knew about Zhongli and trying to test out his kit as much as possible with a bunch of different artifact sets. The whole purpose of this video that I ended up making is just to put, I guess, maybe throw all away all the biases that there are about Zhongli. I'm trying to be as impartial as best possible for this video. So, I mean, I'm just going to go through everything that I ended up clipping and put together in the video. I'm not that much of an editor, so we're just going to go through it and I'll comment on it. But again, this is just to sort of also kind of debunk about Zhongli being the amber of 5 stars. And I want to prove everyone wrong about that if possible. But, to each their own with the situation. I mean, I've had fun playing with him, so. But that all aside, you know what? Let's just go into the video and I'll explain what's going on. I posted a link and everything will be in the description box as far as timestamps. So if you want to check out a certain part of the video, a certain set, you can go ahead and skip down below. And we'll just go over exactly what I have on this guy and what I'm going to be showing you. So I have both a Skyward Spine and the Crescent Pike. So it's more of to show a free-to-play friendly style of this, and also the pay-to-win type. So the Skyward Spine obviously is the pay-to-win. Both of these weapons are R2, refinement rank 2, and if possible, if you're free to play, you can get this higher. It's just, if you're lucky or not. I haven't got a single drop, so I mean, that's that. But as far as what I'm rocking with Zhongli, his talents, his normal attack is level 7. His Dominus Lapidus, that's level 6, and then his Planet Befall is level 7. So those are the talents that I'm working with. The only thing that I have as far as constellation goes is C2. So C1 allows me to put down multiple pillars. I tried to not to do that much in this video. If I did it, it was mainly to just get my burst quickly and then move on. His C2, that should not play any situation to this because I'm just mainly doing this for damage purposes. But later on at the end of the video, you can see his utility as far as him putting up shields, him using pillars, and him playing in co-op. So keep in mind that when we go through this video, I'll give you guys my conclusions and everything that I'm gathering for this video, all the information that I did. And I will also give credit to some people towards the end that actually showed me some of their views on Zhongli. And let me just say much respect to you content creators out there, because this stuff is a pain in the butt. It takes a long time. Much respect for all the videos that you guys put out. I really appreciate that stuff. So without further ado, let me go ahead and go to the video. This is kind of ghetto, but it is what it is. All right. So initially, what I'm going to end up starting off with is it should be a Gladiator Bloodstained set. So this is the gameplay of that. So going through this video, I'm just going to be going against the Rune Guard, and I put up one pillar, do my damages, trying to show you the auto attacks. So you got about 869 for the highest hit on this set. Then my 25k crit for the befall. And then I wanted to check out the pillar damage, 500 for regular ticks, about 1k for crit crits. So this first set, all of these sets in the first half have to do with the Crescent Pike, and then the sets that I'm going to be showing you. Each set will pop up, and again, description link below will show them all. So this set had 47% crit, 113% crit damage, 127% energy recharge. Energy recharge, you'll see throughout this first half, it's very important. Had 116% physical damage and 28% geo, which is his flat. He's level 90, so that's the flat that he gets. This is the set that was that I had before, but this is the one that I'm going to put on. This is Petra, 2 Gladiator. So 2-piece Petra, 2-piece Gladiator. So we're going to be testing out as many sets, variations as possible. It should be like, I want to say 19 sets, or maybe, or so, that's how many I did. So this set, let me pause real quick just to show you guys, because I want to show you that percentages before we go quickly. I mean, you can also pause too, but we have crit rate 29%, crit damage 144%. This is a 2-piece Petra, 2-piece Gladiator, and 145% energy recharge. Down below, we'll have, I believe it's 43%, almost 44% geo, and then 91% physical. This is still Crescent Pike, so this whole first half is Crescent Pike. Free to play friendly, you can definitely get this. The only thing that I have that free to play that wouldn't have is probably C1 or even C2. So I end up trying to put 1 pillar, trying to do my auto attacks. This one ended up being, I think, maybe top damage 862, crit 35k for the befall, and then I just needed to check, 960 was top for this. So remember, 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Petra. Then, all right, getting my pillar down, 583 for flat, trying to get 1 crit off, 1429. So that's what this set is capable of. Now, bear in mind that most of these sets that I'm doing, now this is the 4-piece Gladiator that I'm going to end up putting on, but all these sets have different stats, different substats. I usually try to aim for attack percent, crit rate on the helmet, but crit damage is the one that I'm really trying to aim for. So I only have that on my Petra helmet. Everything else is crit rate. So you guys can take that. So this is the Gladiator set, 53% crit, 127% crit damage, 122% energy recharge. You got about 1.9, almost 2k attack, and almost 22k HP. So again, you guys can pause whenever just to check out these stats. They're all listed, all my artifacts. So top damage for this, 951. 1058 was top. 1058 was top for sure. 1192 was top for the pillar. You're looking at maybe like 500 something for like the flat damage. I think it was like 523. So now I'm just trying to collect energy recharge at this point. That's the only reason I'm putting 2 pillars down, because when you have low energy recharge, 28k crit for the befall, but when you have low energy recharge, it's hard to get your burst back up quickly. So next set, I end up doing 2-piece Petra and 2-piece Bloodstained. So this will have physical damage and geo damage. I only had about 22% crit rate, but because of the helmet, I have 148%, almost 140% energy recharge. You got 58% physical and 53% geo. The physical is coming from Pike, and I have 27k HP. This is mainly because of the artifact that I had. It had like 18% HP on it, but yeah. So boom, 550 flat. Again, this is geo and Bloodstained, so you got physical damage going on here too. So top on this is roughly, let's see, I'm trying to see. I mean, you guys will probably catch it. 970 is top damage on that. And then my befall, that was 14k flat. So anytime that I wasn't able to get it, I just put 1 pillar down, and then I just let my energy recharge go and start ticking. There were incidents where, you know, I would have to go check mobs to go get my energy recharge, only because I didn't want him to die quickly. So I let now. This is one thing that I'm gonna say throughout the video when there's like a little bit of downtimes. The energy recharge on this pillar, I don't know how random it is. It's like I just don't get what's causing it to tick, but it doesn't have consistent rates. And I don't know if energy recharge has to do anything with it, but we'll be able to tell like throughout this video. Both, I mean, all of us are just gonna look at this data together. Hold on, let me just go back. I just want to see that crit damage. So that befall crit damage ended up being, let's see, 36k. So this is with the that was the Petra Bloodstained. So now I'm going Petra Gladiator. So let's see, we got 43% geo damage, 33% physical, and that's because of Crescent Pike. Then we got 163% crit damage, 28% crit rate, and attack about 2.1k, 2.2k, about 26k HP. Again, you'll see numbers start differing the closer you see more geo damage, more crit damage, and more HP. Those are the things that you want if you want your burst to be going super ham. So you got the pillar doing 643. When it crits, almost 1700. That is the magic from crit damage and HP and geo percent. Now this, my auto attacks, this is when you try to raise your burst up, your auto attacks end up dropping significantly. I would say maybe by half, if not a little bit more than half. 41k for the burst. As you can see, when you start building your burst up though, that burst will be doing intense damage. Let's see here. So now I'm switching over to an attack percent earn, and we'll be doing the whole sets of the 2 Noblesse Oblige and then 2 Gladiator with the Petra helmet because I have the ability to squeeze that in there. So we're gonna keep going on, and you guys can see the stats: 2k attack, about 24k HP. You got 32% crit rate, almost 200% crit damage. That is massive. You'll see the damage on this one. Geo percent ends up being flat, 28. Physical percent, 33%. So this is not based towards his auto attacks, but more for his burst. So again, you guys have timestamps, so go through these as you would like and check out the findings and see how you would want to build your Zhongli, just to see what you would want to do with him. So crit for the pillar would be 1600, and then you got flat damage going at 543. His highest on his attack was about 843, and I think I only saw that once. Then I'm just trying to collect my energy recharge. So you can see he had maybe, I think it was like about, I forgot how much it was at, but I got my elemental burst rather quickly than previous times. So you'll see it again, but this is, okay, 15k hit. So I decided to test out the pillar more and try to get the energy recharge, try to see what the tick ratio was. Sometimes it'll pulse, and I won't get anything, but you'll see. So with we're gonna try to see if we can pinpoint what the rate is as far as how many times we're getting the ticks, because it's so random. I really don't understand it. So that's one. It pulsed nothing. Well, the thing is he wasn't on it, but pulsed, I got it. 1, I should be getting another one. 2, nothing, waiting. I'm getting it from the other pillar because he's standing in it. But again, the tick rate is completely random. I just wanted to do this just so I can get my burst up. When I end up using my Skyward spine, you're gonna see the power of energy recharge. That's why it's like I usually try to go that maybe second to crit damage, but yeah. So it's 134% here. So it's not that ideal. You would want to go at least maybe 150, I would say, if you want to spam your burst. So I didn't get a crit, so this is where I end up stopping, going to get another some mobs and get some power. I still didn't crit because I think it was like I have like 22% or 28% crit rate here. So I just end up trying to wait for the ticks. Again, I have 134%, so I ended up putting 2 pillars down just to try to get my energy recharge faster. But yeah, I mean, in order as far as what I would say to prioritize with him, if you're going to do burst damages, you would go crit damage, energy recharge, crit rate, HP percent, and then attack percent. After that, you know, your geo damages is really important, but if you have an attack earn, it's still fine because it will boost up your attacks too. So 45k damage for this set. It took that long, but yeah, that's the set. Hold on a second. I just want to show that to you guys real quick. So what the next set we're going to end up doing. Still Crescent Pike, by the way. So we have the attack percent earn, and we're going to do a full Gladiator set on this. The stats on this, almost 24k HP. You are almost 22k, 2200 attack. And again, this is because you got a Gladiator set. 52% crit rate and 146% crit damage, 111% energy recharge. So this one was taking really long to get my energy recharge. 33% physical damage, and then flat. This is all flat. Crescent Pike, that's the 33, and then flat 28. That's your character at level 90. So moving on, and again, this is world level 7. I'll put all of that in the description box. Put up the pillar, 700 damage for the geo, but I think that was just I forgot. I think maybe just because it popped on him, but you're looking at 1422 for the damage, and then my top hit was like 937. I think I almost hit 1k for this because it's a Gladiator set. Gladiator set's boosting your normal and charged attacks plus your attack percent, so it's really viable if you wanted to also do your if you want strong auto attacks. But here I'm still trying to collect my energy recharge for my burst, and again, this is 111, so it's taking a little bit, but the ticking is so inconsistent. That is something I feel like it really needs to be fixed. That was I think roughly like what, 13k. So I had to come back, try to get my super again. So I'm gonna go try and crit on him again, just so you guys can see. We're gonna go keep on trying to attack, trying to get the energy recharge. See, it's pulsing, nothing. Got it. But there's, you see, it pulsed on him like 3 or 4 times, nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and Q. And 33k damage. So, you know, if you're using him as the one being on the field, then yeah, it would be okay for you to do that. But this set, I think, ended up being my 2-piece Noblesse Oblige and 2-piece Petra. This is my main set that I end up running on him. It has 134% energy recharge, but when I end up switching my weapon, it ends up being a different story. So, but still, I have about almost 2k attack, and then I have HP, almost 25k HP with this set. It's ideal for me right now to go with this, but if it were up to me and if I had, I guess, the money, I don't know if I would go with 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Petra. But I just can't tell because I don't have the sets. So we're looking at 568 for the pillar, and then 1500 for the pillar crit. Now this, again, this is my set with the Crescent Pike. So I'm trying to get my energy recharge, got my particles, and got another one. See, it's so inconsistent. I just don't know when it's gonna pop and when it's not gonna pop. This time it just started popping like crazy for whatever reason. 16k damage, so I end up trying to do another pillar just to get him to give me my super. I don't think I ended up getting that much, so I went to go fill it up and it didn't want to kill him. So we're still doing the testing, trying to get the energy recharge. It's just, that's probably one of the main things that is frustrating for me for Zhongli, is that when the energy charge is proccing. But when you're switching between characters and doing a whole bunch of abilities, it's like you end up getting your burst faster. It just happens. It's proccing like crazy, and you end up getting your burst faster than you can get your cooldown finished. So here we go with the crit, 43k damage, about 44k. So that's two-piece Noblesse Oblige and two-piece Petra. So now we're gonna switch over to the Skyward Spine, R2. It gives me a 10% crit rate, 12% attack speed, and then the ability to give, what is it, a vacuum of 55% attack damage. It's a small AoE. I mean, the most important thing about this is the crit rate and the energy recharge. So that's why I love this weapon. Of course, all right, hold on, before I keep going on. Of course, if I had the choice, I would definitely go for the banner weapon, but I don't have the money to be doing that, so this is fine for now. So we're going physical damage goblet, and then we're going two-piece Bloodstained and two-piece Petra. So let's go on. I feel like when you have about, okay, so this set ends up giving me 1800 attack, 25k HP, 32% crit rate, 132% crit damage, 185% energy recharge. You got 83% physical damage because of the sets, and 43% because of the geo. So this is maximum physical damage, maximum geo for now until I get a geo goblet, but this is what you're working with. Now that pillar damage should be going towards what I have right now, but watch how fast the energy recharge goes for this item. It's ridiculous, like 180%. So put down the pillar, top hit, look at my energy recharge. Look at my burst compared to like the previous one. If you've been watching this all the way through, you'll see how fast I end up. Whenever I get a tick, yo, it is money. I have 185% energy recharge, so I just wanted to point that out because I don't think I pointed it out before. 1200, about 1250 for the crit on the pillar, and then we go ahead and try to use the Q. 32k crit. So this is more optimized for auto attack. It's a balance. It's really a balance. But I didn't have my crit damage helmet, so I end up switching to my next set. This should be a two-piece Bloodstained and I think two-piece Gladiator, I want to say, but I'll probably correct myself. 57% crit, 160% energy recharge, 113% crit damage. But I think we're going to go over the set after this because I think I noticed that I didn't show it. So, but again, description box will show everything. 565 flat, 1100 for the crit on the pillar. And then we're just collecting the energy particles, trying to see how fast I can get it. But you see how much energy I'm getting because of that 160%. I don't know if the tick has any type of play for how often you're getting the energy recharge, but again, miHoYo, you need to look at that. That is something that you either need to put in the description of when it's gonna proc, because I couldn't even tell why it wasn't procking or not, because he's standing in there. 27k for the crit, and then I'm just looking at the normal attack damage. The normal, I think I probably hit like 800 on this, maybe. Yeah, 813. 1k is probably the top on this. So this is physical damage. That was the physical damage goblet. I believe it was Bloodstained 2, and then it also I check the description box because I just want to make sure that it might have been two-piece Glad, two-piece Bloodstained. So then I end up changing over to the Petra and Gladiator. So I just wanted to show that just in case. Again, I was clipping this like crazy, and yo, you editors out there, oh my gosh, you guys have so much patience for this stuff. This is crazy. But so this is two-piece Gladiator, physical goblet, and two-piece Petra, and then we're gonna try to test this out. If you can see my party, there's no resonance or anything like that. So no extra bonuses, no nothing. This is just Zhongli being Zhongli. Um, I only had Barbara in there just to heal him up, just in case. But she does have the dragon tail, so I try not to pop her out that much. Top on this was like maybe 15. You see 1583 on the pillar, 37k on the befall, his burst, and then his top damage on here. Maybe you see 880. That was probably the top one. And that's about it for that. But this is, again, this is a ruin guard, so he has high defense. So on normal creeps, I'd probably be critting for higher. So that's that. I mean, I'm just collecting my energy recharge just to see all these ticks. Like, look at that. That thing is going up like crazy. Here, I think I ended up changing my set again. I just didn't show what it was. I'll put the timestamps for everything. But that's all my stats that I have. This looks like to me Petra, maybe Petra. No, that was the Petra Gladiator. So that is the set that was showcased right there. 2200 attack, about almost 22k HP, but yeah, 63% crit, 127% crit damage, 157% energy recharge, and then you got. Oh, wait a second. Nope. This is 4-piece Gladiator. Now this is 4-piece Gladiator. See, I'm cutting this, but again, pay attention to the timestamps. So I'm just trying to narrate this as is, trying to go over this as fast as possible because I don't want you guys watching a long video. So you got 1320 for the pillar. This is 4-piece Glad and physical percent Goblet. And then for his regulars, 579. Got my super up or my burst, 30k damage. That's a full piece Gladiator with the physical Goblet. Highest on the attack, we're probably looking over 1,000, but I don't know how much. 1,001 was probably the highest. But yeah, that's the highest that I ended up getting on this. At no time did I get higher than that for all of these auto attacks against the Ruin Guard. So now I switched over to attack percent Goblet. This is, if I had a Geo Goblet at all for any of this stuff, you'd be seeing way higher numbers for the burst and the pillar. But that's why this is more like attack percent is more balanced around auto attacks, normal attacks, and then you have your just everything else based for trying to just balance it out. So this is going to be a 2 Bloodstained and 2 Petra. And the rest of this should be with the attack percent earn. So I had 43% geo damage, 148% crit damage, and then 32% crit rate, and 174% energy recharge. Very, very good. Everything, this is 25%. That's because of the Bloodstained. And we got about 2k damage and 27k HP. So going forward, see what we end up getting here. I think this was decent damage, but still, Bloodstained is also 1,500 for the crit on the pillar. And look, yo, I'm getting my burst so fast. Just one particle and then boom. It's so much. Get my burst down, 38k burst. So it's still pretty good. But we're going with the normal attacks, and this is the physical percent coming from the Bloodstained. So highest was like 8 something. That's not bad. So I mean, you guys could still play around with these sets if you want to do more normal attack damage. Like if you want him to be your DPS, yes, you can do this. But I would highly recommend that you go retracting Bolide if you wanted to do good normal attack damage. You could go Gladiator too, but your burst wouldn't be that good unless you have Geo Cup. So next up, it should be the 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Petra, I think. 131% crit damage, 56% crit rate, 156% energy recharge. Oh no, this 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Bloodstained. almost 25k HP and about almost 23k attack. So 2-piece Bloodstained, 2-piece Glad. So we'll end up checking this out. Energy recharge is good. You got about what, 1300? Yeah, 1373 for the pillar damage, 593 for flat. Highest attack on there was probably, I don't know, maybe 673. I think maybe 800 was maybe top. But I wasn't hitting it like quite often. So got my burst, try it out. 32k crit. Now you can see how important geo percent is for this. Like, that's why a lot of people want to go Petra, is because geo percent really is top notch for this. Like, if you want to do your bursts, normal attacks, that's a different story. But if you're running him with a party as a support, you don't want to be running him with that high amounts of just normal attack damage, because you're losing out on his ability to just constantly create burst and high burst damage. So this ends up being a 2 Petra and 2 Gladiator. We got about almost 40% crit rate. Hold on, actually, let me back that up. I want to make sure. All right. Yeah, 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Petra. So we have 2400 attack, almost 26k HP, almost 40% crit rate, 163% crit damage, almost 170% energy recharge. This is a really good balance. 43% geo damage, and then you have no physical damage. So we're gonna see what it ends up being with no physical damage coming into play, and this is just pure attack going at its best. But remember, high attack also gives you a boost to your burst 2 and your pillar. So let's just see how this goes. 700, and then for the crit, you can also see my burst. See how fast that's ticking. Look at how much you're getting. That's so much. So the crit on the pillar is I think you saw it, but it might have been like 15. Oh, 18. Oof, almost 1900. Yeah, that's all attack percent doing all that. And then you got with 44k crit. So you could go geo damage, and I did go geo damage, but the physical damage, it loses its luster. Like, it loses its ability to match what a Petrasec and attack percent can give you. So that's why this definitely is better than Bloodstained, and I wouldn't want to go Bloodstained, because you're still getting almost the same amount of normal attacks, but your burst is way up there. So now I ended up going 2-piece Noblesse Oblige, and then the 2-piece Gladiator. This ends up being my crazy damage. So there's no geo on this. There's you got about 170%, but you look at that crit damage, 200% crit damage, 42% crit rate. Again, stats on all this stuff is different, but you have to look, almost 2300k attack and 24k HP. Because of the crit damage on the helmet, it's ridiculous, but you have 20% from Noblesse Oblige giving you burst damage, and then the pillar, there's no geo damage, so this would be lower than when you have the other one, 1800. Again, that's also because of the high crit damage that you're getting. So you could go high crit damage, high attack percent, and then you don't have to worry too much about geo if you have really high numbers of that, because this is like, I think this was the best I had for numbers, but these artifacts that I have don't belong to him, so they're for my other characters. 49k crit. That is ridiculous. That's what you have when you end up stacking a decent amount of HP. You have high percent crit damage and high attack. So that's what you're looking at. The auto attacks, they're normal. They're not that bad, but Now we're going to see the normal attacks with a 4-piece Gladiator set. And my helmet, I couldn't use that helmet only because it's the urn. The urn is what's crazy. So you guys can play around with these sets, but this is just to show you guys what the possibilities are, and what you could get, like what's ending up being more important for you in the long run. It depends on what fight you're in. It really depends if you're trying to shield your guys, if you're trying to use him as number one guy. But yeah, so 24k attack, 24k HP. I mean 2400. Sorry, 60% crit rate, 146% crit damage, 146% energy recharge. So that's on the low side, and then everything else should be regular, flat, 0 physical, and then your normal geo damage. So we're gonna go in it. I put down the pillar, and then we're gonna try to see the collecting of the damage. So this is no geo percent, so this is just raw attack, raw everything else. So 1580 for the geo crit on the pillar, and then his normal attacks, they should be higher. So yeah, 1k. This is all because this is 4-piece Gladiator. His normal damage is getting boosted up. This is what you might be looking at a good retracting bolide set. If you, this is more closer toward that, as except you don't need a shield to do this damage. You just do this damage right out the bat. But when it comes to his burst, if you have no geo, no extra geo, you're just focused on crit damage and normal attack. So that's what you end up getting. That's why you're losing like roughly 10k damage for that, and you don't have high energy charge. Now this set, let me go back. This set is my normal everyday set. I'm running on him. I'm focusing on crit damage. I'm focusing 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Noblesse Oblige for the 20% extra burst, and then you got 2-piece Petra for 15% extra geo. So your pillar's getting it, your burst is getting it, and all this crit damage, all this attack that you're trying to stack up, you'll see what it ends up doing. So normal attacks, I don't expect it to be that high, but the burst and the energy recharge, yo, ridiculous. 24k, almost 25k HP, 2100 attack. You could probably get higher if you had different stats on your artifacts. 44% crit rate, crit damage almost 170%, and almost 170% energy recharge. Should be 43.8% geo, no physical damage. So normal attacks will be subpar from like a Gladiator set, but this is still not bad. Again, my goal with this set is to burst as much as possible. So look, 0% burst recharge, right? Let's just go ahead and start ticking it down. That was like maybe 1/6, right? You got another one, 2. So this is 170% energy recharge. 3. Maybe it was like 1/7. 4, 5, 6. And then you got one more click. See, it's not proccing. It's just randomly proccing. 7. So you're looking at maybe 8th. So this is like 8 of these energy particles. Then you'll get a full burst. It just, when it starts ticking, who knows when it'll tick, you know? But it's different when you end up playing with other players because they also give you energy recharge. Killing enemies also gives you energy recharge. You're looking at all those elements when you're doing this stuff. Damage for this ended up being 17k, didn't crit. So I think I got unlucky with these crits. So I ended up having to heal a little bit, try to get my energy recharge again. But I'm trying to get it fast. So I end up putting 2 pillars, and I'm still collecting. This is like what, 2k? That was what, 2k for the pillar damage, but I think it might have been lower than that. I saw 2k, but I don't think that was real. I don't know why I ended up. Oh, that's because Barbara. That's why it was 2k, because she has the. So 1700 is the usual crit for this, and then we're still trying to collect. Again, if I had a Geo Goblet, this would be so much higher. Still trying to collect. See, it's ticking very inconsistently. So Mihoyo, please check that out. If anything, that will make him a little bit more boosted up. So I didn't end up critting. I ended up going, try to get it filled up again, and then I'm gonna try to crit him again. 46k, almost 47k damage on the pillar, on the burst. Normal attacks, really normal, not that much. So going forward from here, I just ended up doing some co-op missions just to show you guys his ability to help out the team or do anything like that. It's not a good example because you have a healer and things like that. But with all these shields that you have up, almost everybody did not take that much damage. But the damage and the burst that I end up throwing, you're going to see how many times I'm throwing my burst out there. So, you know, take into account, like when you start switching between characters, all of that stuff will play a part in his power. Like, yeah, it's nice to have a setup and you're doing this amazing damage number with other characters, but they don't help you as far as surviving with any types of shields. When you're on floor 12 or any type of really hard floor where you can't really dodge that much, this is your guy. This guy is definitely got your back. So let's just go ahead and see some of this gameplay and you'll see what I'm talking about as far as his energy recharge and his pillar. This is my set, the 2-piece Noblesse Oblige and the 2-piece Petra with the attack percent Urn and Skyward Spine. So there, I got my super. I had it at 0. I think burst was at 0. Sorry. Normal attacks. You see, I'm almost hitting 2K, but not really. Again, if I wasn't in a party like this, I would be switching him out so someone else can dish out the damage, and I'll bring him out, get my burst up, and I got my burst. Do it again. And then I start doing normal, let all the ticks. See, I almost have my super, but that's because things are dying and everyone else is around me. See, look, I already have it and nothing died, but I still got my super. Let it go down again. Get my burst off. Another 46. That's like 80 something K damage for two mobs, together collectively. I got my super again. I'm just gonna pop it again. I mean, why not, right? It's just keeping them in place. They're getting stunned. They're stuck. They can't do anything. The higher you level up the ability, the longer they stay there. When you level up, when you get higher constellations, if you're whaling, yeah, you'll benefit off it more, but it's not really that needed. Like if you have like this right now, this is a freeze comp. Freeze comp with my my meter just coming down, not letting them do squat. I am just pretty much putting my pillar. I put my pillar behind them, so if I start knocking them back like that, like how many times I'm knocking them back like crazy, I knock them towards the pillar. And then look, I'm just just spamming my normal attack as normal, and then let them take off his shield. And I put my pillar there just in case he starts flying all over the place. Anytime I get a chance, I will put my pillar behind him just so he doesn't start flying all over the place. I try to control him as much as possible. But yeah, that pillar is your best source for the energy recharge if nothing is dying, or if your other characters, whenever they use their abilities, they're throwing down shards everywhere. So you're getting all those shields. It's like, how can you not benefit off of this? Everybody starts crapping on him as far as him being subpar, but look at everybody's HP. Nobody is taking damage. It's granted there's another shielder in there, so this is just to show you Diona and Zhongli could be a good combo. Nobody will ever die, and she does have some heals, but that is what you're dealing with right now as far as all these this potential that he has to mix around. You don't have to put him with 2 GOs. You don't have to put him with 2 Pyros, 2 GOs. You can put him in any scenario, and he'll just be there doing damage, CCing, putting shields up. He's not... he is definitely not the Amber of size 5 stars. A lot more of these 5 stars end up becoming a little bit more... like I would say Mona's good too, but I say Zhongli can give a run for her money. If she's C0 and if he's C0, he can still do it pretty decently. So, I mean, it depends on all the elemental reactions you're creating, of course, but at the end of the day, who's going to survive better? A team with Mona or a team with Zhongli? That's what I'm saying. You can't. All these people that are comparing Zhongli and Zhangling, it's like they're not the same. Like you have someone that's able to put abilities out, and then it just Zhangling, she has her burst that ends up throwing her spear rounds, and you have Boba that can throw down attack percent damage. That's cool. Her auto attacks really scale well. Yes, that's cool too. But that's pretty much it. And she's not throwing her spear, her burst around like crazy. Not like Zhongli. Zhongli is throwing his stuff down. When you have good energy recharge and you're scaling his burst, you have the ability to just get your burst as fast as possible. You don't have to have these two pillars. It definitely helps. So when I say you get from C0 to C1, you're definitely getting some good benefits, but you can still get this energy recharge if you're using your characters correctly. You don't have to have all those pillars at once because they're moving around anyway. So, you're going to be moving your pillar too. It's on a 2-second cooldown. And if you need, but the only problem that you would have with this is if you're putting a shield up, then it goes on an 8-second cooldown, and then you gotta just worry about putting down your pillar after 8 seconds. But otherwise, you're still switching between characters. You got shields up, you throw down your burst. There's frozen. You just dish out so much damage within like 2.8 to 3.5 seconds. I forgot what it ends up scaling, but I think it ends up scaling up to 4 seconds or so, the higher it goes. But it's really fun, a really fun playstyle, I feel like. As far as what you can end up doing with him, there's definitely people that can end up out damaging him in the long run when they're on the field for really long periods of time. But again, he wasn't advertised as the #1 DPS. You end up boosting up his normal attacks, he can be a one-man show. He can potentially be one of the greatest one-man shows. And that's like, to me, it's like, it's cool. It's definitely good. And you definitely feel satisfied and everything like that. But it's like when you end up playing with other players and things like that, it's going to be good, but you'd still want to be that high utility. You still want to be that tanky guy that's helping out your team. Anytime a healer doesn't have the perfect heals, you still got Zhongli just in the background, CCing, throwing shields up, giving you the ability to pick up some shards for other different elemental shields. It's still pretty good. So, I mean, that's the video as far as what's happening with, I feel, Zhongli, and just look through these clips, look through every single one of these things. You can see how much viability he has with certain sets, what he ends up becoming. Like, as soon as you have the tools, he ends up becoming a certain beast depending on what you have. It takes a while to farm, but with anything, you can't just expect to get all this stuff all at once and then become #1 right away. It takes time, it takes investment, but free to play wise, if you have a Crescent Pike and if you're getting that thing to like R5, you can pop on a Gladiator set, you could pop on a retracting bolide set, any of those things, and you're going to be dishing out some auto attack damage. Zhangling can also do that as well, but she has her super, and when you end up going physical damage or when you end up going auto attack damage, it's still something that you have to keep in the back of your mind, that you're sacrificing your super damage or anything like that. So her fire damage is not that high up and you're just looking for a chili pepper or anything like that. But his super, you're locking people down, you're giving people shields, that's still there. So take it for what it is. I mean, that's all I have as far as what that video was for. Again, I hope you guys got something out of that, and maybe it might shift your mind if you wanted to pull for him, or if you ended up getting him, you know, you don't have to bench him. He is not a character that you would want to bench if you want to progress through some content. I'm telling you, him versus maybe Venti, you know, because I have a Venti, but he was low level. But my Zhongli, he was also low level. He was level 70, and my Venti was probably level 60. But I wasn't using Zhongli as damage. I'm just using him to freeze the Fatui, give me more chances to run around so that they're not freezing me or anything like that, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you'll see videos. I think it was because I'm not good with names, but the Asian guy player, I think that's pretty much his tag. But he made a video on Zhongli, and it was pretty crazy for what he was doing with that, like almost no gear. So things like that you have to take into account. It's not, you know, you don't need the best of the best of the best gear, but you can have it to a way where you can start scaling this stuff and take full advantage of Zhongli. Again, I did say I wanted to give a shout out to certain people, and that goes out to Dimon Kim, the Asian guy, people like Tectone, putting some information out there about all this stuff. I'm always watching all these different videos from these guys. You know, Jinx, Jin, I think. You know, he had put some information on this too, but again, he's not testing it thoroughly. So I just wanted to tell you, like, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. From 100%, you guys are definitely like the MVPs for putting these videos out, because these videos are really hard to make and it takes a lot of time and sacrifice. So for you guys, thank you guys for putting that content out. Matt Justix, of course, you as well. You know, I really appreciate you guys putting some more information out there just so that we have something to work off of. But you can also take these things with a grain of salt, and you can see what you end up getting. So I'm not here to say Zhang Li is the best #1, but don't sleep on him. I would say do not sleep on him. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So that's it, man. I mean, I don't have much else to say. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all don't have to subscribe, honestly. I'm just like, this is just a video just to show you guys what's up. All right. Take care. Peace.